Here's a really random question. Let's say you could extend your lifespan from 100 to 200. Would you do it?
No.
Exactly, right? It's like, would you really want to live an extra 100 years of the being old stage? But at the same time, if you're already 100 and you're like, I want to die, is it okay for you to just die? Like, jump off a building?
I guess that's also another complex moral issue is assisted suicide. Like, should you be allowed to, pull the plug on someone? Like, let's say, there's a 1% chance, or like a 0.01% chance that they can still survive. Is it worth it to leave them there and suffer, or just to pull the plug and be like, it's over?
There's the utilitarian calculus. So let's say, there's two theories on life. There's the valuable container theory and the neutral container theory. The first theory is that life by itself is valuable, and therefore it has...
And the second one is life is only valuable if you can enjoy it.
If you have a life. And the neutral container is that life is only valuable depending on what's in it.
If it's worth living.
Yeah. Let's say the rest of your life, you're stuck on a hospital bed feeling intense pain for life.
Yeah, like you would just be like, nah, just pull the
why
plug.
bother?
For euthanasia, for suicide. So when is it justified? So let's say we have a graph this is a graph on how happy you are right now. So how high it is depending on your container value plus whatever's inside. So let's say whatever inside is really bad, and then let's say it's negative. You're not feeling happy, but then there's this very slight chance it's gonna turn back up. For example, let's say your girlfriend, boyfriend dumped you, and then now you're down here. But then it's gonna get better later on. So is it alright to suicide here? Depending on how far you're going to get.
Yeah.
You integrate, and then you get the area. If that area is positive, then you should not kill yourself, because that area is gonna be positive.
I want to know if I should suicide, but I can't do integration.
I can't do it until I figure out the area under this curve.
Do I kill it?
Is the area under this curve worth it? Complex issues. There's definitely a lot of gray area, because nothing's as simple as you think it'd be.
You kept describing it as literal numbers of deaths versus saved people, but seriously.
Well, in those scenarios, they are, basically 1 for 4, 1 for 5. Like, it's not like a difference between quality of life. It's more just like, can you save this person? Can you let them die?
No, but seriously. Like, let's say, I don't know. It's from the perspective, alright? Let's say someone needs a heart. You can rip a heart out of someone else and give it to this person. From your perspective, this is a literally neutral, nothing's wrong with that.
It'd be like, It'd be like life... Okay, a life worth living is worth a large amount, right? And then... Because at the same time, you can't just let one... You can't just be like, okay, I'm going to let 30 of you people die because I'm not willing to hurt one person. Like, that's not okay either. That's basically killing 29 people.
No, but part of the thing is just...
What if you're one of those?
Seriously, you can't just drag random people into it. As I said, 1 for 1. From your... There's obviously an extra factor here. Otherwise, no one would care if you killed one person to save one person.
At least the 1 for 1. Like, you're also introducing great pain and emotional suffering by doing that transaction. You're making both people suffer, because then the other person's going to know...
And if there was no pain?
Because most people would not... I think most people would not kill another person to save 1 life, but they would kill another person to save 2 lives, or 3 lives, or 4 lives.
Well, this goes
it's like
to,
the Charlie part, right? Most people...
No, this goes to the positive and negative duties. So, by killing someone, you violate their right to negative...
It's like when you turn the steering wheel, right? To turn it from 5 people to 1, you're still doing an action that kills 1 person. You're just doing it because you can save 4 more people. When you turn the wheel to turn the trolley or train or whatever towards that 1 person, you're still forcing the 1 person to die. But you're doing it because you can save 4 more people in the process.
Yes.
And most people would do that.
The argument goes that if you do nothing, they're gonna die anyway.
But that shouldn't matter, right? Like, if you can save 4 people,
like then
it's worth it.
Oh, there's this argument. So what if the track is not just a Y? What if the track loops around to here, and
then everyone dies?
No. Here's the thing: you need you need that 1 person to die in order to save the 5.
I don't see the difference.
Why?
So if that person you're trying to save suddenly disappeared, then you can no longer save the 5. That's the difference.
I don't get how that's different than the why.
It's the direct versus oblique intention thing.
Because you're still just basically saying, turn the wheel, roll over one person.
So for example, let's say in a trolley problem, right? There's 5 person on one track and then 1 person, and you turn to the 1 person, right?
Yeah.
And what if that 1 person miraculously dodged it, and then the driver doesn't have to get out of chain and grab a crowbar and hit and kill that 1 person because he doesn't need the death of that 1 person.
Okay. If the death of 1 person is obviously if the death of 1 person is unnecessary to save the 5, then you're not going to be like, oh, I'm going to kill 1 person.
That's why it's justifiable in that sense. What if the track loops around and you need to hit it to stop?
If you're thinking about it that way, either way, you would still choose to turn the train towards the path of least damage. No matter what, you turn the train towards the path of least damage, right? You're not going to be like, oh, just because I have to kill this 1 person to save 5. Like, you're not even thinking about the 1 person jumping out of the way. When in the trolley problem, you assume that the 1 person is going to die if you turn the wheel, right?
Yes, that's the
that is an assumption.
Yes.
That is an assumption. You know, you turn the wheel, 1 person dies, 5 people stay alive. So like, the version with the loop, that's not any different. Like, sure, it might be different, like, oh, the 1 person could dodge or something, and then the 5 people die. But, like, that's not even an assumption. In the original problem, you're assuming the 1 person dies and the 5 people survive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Intention.
So, it's still the same. You still choose the path with the least damage. You still choose, okay, I'm going to turn the train towards the 1 person to save these 5 people. And if the 1 person jumps out of the way, well, you know, I tried my best. I tried to save them, but, you know, it happened. He jumped out. Too bad.
The first moral principle that emerged in the discussion, he said, the right thing to do, the moral thing to do, depends on the consequences that will result from your action. At the end of the day, better that 5 should live, even if 1 must die. That's an example of consequentialist moral reasoning. Consequentialist moral reasoning locates morality in the consequences of an act, in the state of the world that will result from the thing you do. Then we went a little further, we considered those other cases, and people weren't so sure about consequentialist moral reasoning. When people hesitated to push the fat man over the bridge, or to yank out the organs of the innocent patient, people gestured toward reasons having to do with the intrinsic quality of the act itself. Consequences be what they may. People were reluctant. People thought it was just wrong, categorically wrong, to kill a person, an innocent person, even for the sake of saving 5 lives.
And when you think about it, it's like war, right? Like when you go to war, you kill innocent people, and you do it, okay, in theory, for the greater good. Sometimes not always for the greater good, sometimes it's like, oh, I just want more land. But like, when you invade somewhere, you're saying, okay, you know there's going to be casualties. There's always casualties in war, right? But you're saying, okay, if I do this, then it's for the greater good of the majority of people.
But you can use that to justify genocide.
Well, genocide, it's like, oh, I'm going to kill these people because I don't like them. So that's different.
Wait, hold on.
But that isn't very different. Let's say
it's like, oh, I don't like Jews.
In their state of they believe that killing like black people, they believe killing black people would benefit more white people.
Well,
that's the greater good in their mindset.
They are incorrect. Their mindset is incorrect, but their reasoning is justified.
Yeah, the reasoning.
But their reasons are incorrect.
Therefore, they will still do it, and therefore there is a.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's perfect. Like it can be easily abused, but like if you can save the majority of people at the cost of a few, then it's worth it. Instead of sacrificing the majority for the few. Because then you get people like, oh, you know what?
So there's majority rules, but what about minority rights? What if, to do that, you have to violate some rights of the individual, of the few?
Well, it's difficult, right? Because like you have to think like privacy, right? Like after 9/11, people are like, okay, you know, you have to invade the privacy of millions of people to protect them. So then it becomes complicated. But in essence, you want to protect the greatest good for the most amount of people.
The second version of each story we considered. So this points to a second categorical way of thinking about moral reasoning. Categorical moral reasoning locates morality in certain absolute moral requirements, certain categorical duties and rights, regardless of the consequences. we're going to explore
Yeah, pause
in
this
the
for a
days and weeks to
moment.
come.
Yeah.
About the organ donor one, for example.
Yeah.
Let's just say, wait, he was saying there's two versions of. What was the first version?
First version?
No, there's only one version.
No, the first version was that you kill a healthy person, and the second one is that you just let someone die and then harvest their organs and give it to other people.
About the killing a healthy person, say 5 people or whatever. Like, and in real, let's say a real life scenario, right? A guy just died, has enough organs to save 5 people, but he doesn't, isn't willing to be a donor or whatever the heck. Is it fine to use?
No, I definitely take it. I would take that one. Like, not just should, I would do that.
No hesitation?
Yeah, no hesitation.
Well, why is there even...
He's a dead body.
No,
He's
but
not gonna
wait,
die.
hold on. Why is there even asking people to check this I want to be a donor thing?
Because it's the law. People are just going to be upset. Because people don't like it if there wasn't one. If they were like, oh, you're going to do it anyway, people are going to be like, oh, I don't like that. And then shit happens.
It could be some people might be religious.
Yes, remember, some people
They
backlash
don't
against
want.
it. Yeah.
They don't want their. It's like, oh,
It's
but
not
afterlife's
necessarily-
gonna get ruined if you.
I
take
believe
organs
it's
out.
right to be an organ donor. Like, you should, because, who cares about your dead body after you're dead? Honestly. Like, you could save multiple people through that. But if people don't believe that, or if their beliefs don't concur, then there has to be legal protections for them. Otherwise, they get angry and then
That's
and
the
then
reason why
they all get angry, up in arms, civil war. If I was a doctor,
I feel like that is part of the killing an innocent person. The innocent person definitely did not agree to dying off for these 5 people. If the person agreed to it, then I don't see any more problems.
yeah, of course. Okay, nobody argues about that.
But I think that's the major essence of that one.
Mm-hmm. I think a big question is consent. Like,
yes, that is the principle behind Kantianism and
Because the fat guy
Because-
problem. What if you made it similar? All right, you tell the fat guy, by the way, if you jump down there and die, you can save 5 people. Is it wrong for the fat guy not to jump?
yeah.
it's wrong for the.
Okay, it's like
Oh, you're right. Bye.
okay, if someone told you, okay, you can either die or everyone else dies, would you pick, okay, I want to live, or would you be like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna? Because even if you lived, you're gonna be guilty for the rest of your life. You're going to feel guilty. You're gonna be like, okay, it's my fault that all these people died.
Seriously, you definitely have some rights towards yourself, not just towards the greater good. You're not. There's no way morality
Yeah,
would force you to jump.
I agree.
To save
Like,
5 people.
I agree that, like, it definitely feels wrong to, like, basically say, hey, we have to do this for these other people, right? Like, nobody
jumps.
instinctively wants to be like, okay, I'm gonna make you do it because of that. But, like, in order to help the most people, it's just part of it. Like, you have to help the most people. Otherwise, you're essentially hurting them. If you don't help someone, you're hurting them. If you have the power to save someone and you don't, it's the same thing as killing them.
Yes, that is Peter Singer's argument, but.
Okay, so the fat guy doesn't jump, 5 people die, and then the fat guy essentially murdered 5 people and gets the death penalty.
Okay, 6 people die. But it's like, if you, in the trial problem, right? If you have 5 people on one side, 1 person on the other side, and you don't turn it, you are killing 4 more people. Like, there is no question that it is wrong not to turn it. You're not going to be like, oh, I just didn't want to let that 1 person die. He's my friend Joe. The other 5 people, I didn't really like them in high school.
I don't think that was what. If that was a factor, that would make the problem weird. Those are not morality-related factors.
But, like...
Wait, but what if Donald Trump's on one, and for the greater, if Donald Trump...
Well, if Donald Trump's the 1 person, oh, hell yeah. Push that button.
What if Donald Trump is on the 5-person side, and by essence, if...
Oh
And-
god.
and
on
Gandhi
5
others-
people's side.
Oh, man, I have to
So you
say-
gotta kill 4 other people.
I would still say...
Just to kill Trump.
you said that one, yeah. Let me save the 5. Good.
Though, to be fair, you could argue that if
Wait,
you...
but if
if
Trump's
you
like,
believe...
look, you kill 5 people, but you save like 300 million.
Yeah, you could argue that because you could argue, hey, Trump would cause more harm to more people overall, so boop. The thing is, it's just hard to tell, like because another big question is you don't know for sure what happens in the future, right? It's like
What if it's switching 1 to 5?
it's like
Let's
the
say-
probability one. Like if you had a plane flying in the sky and you believe 90% chance that it hit a building with 2,000 people inside, would you shoot down the plane? If there's 100 people in the plane and 2,000 people in the building, like 9/11, right? 2,000 people in here, 100 people in here, would you shoot down the plane? Most people would be like, okay, I'd shoot down the plane, kill the 100, save the 2,000. But what if it becomes a 90% chance that the plane is hijacked and there's a 10% chance it isn't? Most people would stop, but from an utilitarian standpoint, you would still shoot on the plane because 2,000 versus 100.
90% of 2,000.
Yeah, 90% 2,000. So it'd be 1,800 versus 100, right? But then if it becomes a 50% chance, a lot of people would be really concerned. Like, 50%, there's a 50% chance I'll kill 100 innocent people, right? The plane isn't hijacked, I'm just killing them, there's no reason to do it. But then there's also a 50% chance this is going to happen, and I'm going to kill 2,100 people, plane plus building. So then it becomes, do you want 50% chance of 100 people dying, or 50% chance of 2,100 people dying? It's just very complicated.
What if the fat guy was on the track and you could choose to pull him off?
It's already on the track anyway. You say 1 to kill 5.
Well, no, but that is a valid argument because if it's about indirect or direct action, right? Then it's direct action to save the person.
That's basically the train is
Already on
already
the
on the
track to kill one person, right? Then most people would leave it there, wouldn't they?
Yes.
Yes,
There's
but
a
it's
lot of-
in essence it's the same thing as pushing one guy to block it.
I think the only reason it even feels different is because when people are tied on the track, someone's trying to kill him anyway. And the fat guy just slipped on the track. You're a little more inclined to
You're like, no!
You're a little more inclined to pull him off than save that one guy who's just tied there, probably for some reason.
Yeah.